Hello and welcome to this video, which is about how I made a cincher corset. I'm Catherine from Crystal Pegasus Costumes. A cincher is a short corset, primarily sitting above the waist and designed to be worn over clothing to cinch it in. This video is part of this year's CosTube Symposium, or CoSy. Once you've finished here, please do take a look at other videos. I'll link the playlist and the Instagram in the description box below. To make this cincher, I started with my standard underbust corset pattern, the Sophia corset from So Curvy. I used this pattern in last year's CoSy video on pattern matching. The first step was to create an initial pattern for the cincher. I traced over the Sophia corset pattern pieces, merging some of them together and trimming it generally to the waist. I started with pieces 1 to 3. There are curves between these pieces when you're looking at them in full, but when we're only considering above the waist, they do match fairly well and we can smooth out that little bit of curve. We'll be simplifying the pattern, overlapping at seams B and C to create one big front piece. I placed the first piece under the tracing paper and drew it out, ignoring a seam allowance. I used the top curve to give a similar curve at the bottom, extending a little below the waist at this point. Then I added in piece 2, aligned it and traced it out. I repeated this for piece 3 and then smoothed out the lines. And there it is, the first cincher piece. I followed a similar process to combine pattern pieces 4 and 5 into a side pattern piece. And for piece 6, the back piece, I traced it out to the waist and added some curves. I also added in a little more to the top of the back piece as I had removed some from the middle of the side piece. With that, the first draft of the pattern was done. Next I made what I hoped would become a wearable mock-up. I laid out my pattern pieces on coutil, pinned along the grain lines, weighed them down and cut them out, and marked the seam letters onto each piece. Then I cut lining pieces from cotton, and so here we have all the pieces ready to go. Over at the ironing board, I smoothed out the front pieces and pressed the fold into the back pieces. We can start to see the shape coming together. It curves around, and overall the waist is a smaller circumference than the underbust. I assembled the cincher. I started with a coutil, sewing the seams and top stitching so they sit flat. Then I stitched the cotton lining and joined the coutil to the cotton. I stitched the 2 layers together, stitching in the ditch at the seams. I used a pair of backlacing strips, attaching them with a long stitch length. For the initial try-on, I used masking tape to attach bones to the inside. And note they're extending below the waist, not digging into the bust. Trying on the mock-up, I'm happy with the front and the side pieces, but at the back it dips down below the waist and the lacing strips are not sitting parallel. I was happy enough with it that I wanted to finish it off properly, turning it into a wearable mock-up, and then have another look once it was done. I made the bone channels by stitching through both layers of the cincher. I attached binding to the bottom of the cincher, inserted the bones, and stitched the binding to the top as well. So here we have the finished wearable mock-up of the cincher. I'm really happy with the pattern and just need to make some little tweaks to the back panel. I want to add in a bit more room into it and account for the fact that when things are chopped off at the waist, they don't have the support from lower down that they would in the original pattern, and so they tend to droop down at the back. That means that the lacing panels, which should have been parallel vertically, go a bit droopy into an A shape. That's okay, we just need to account for it. So to account for the fact that this cincher is different to an underbust corset and behaves differently, I needed to adjust the pattern. I split the back panel, added 1 3/4 inches to the top and 2.5 inches to the bottom, and then smoothed it all out. And then it was time to make the final garment. First I had to prepare my fabric. To work out how much fabric I needed, I laid out my pattern pieces on my silk and then cut out a suitable rectangle. For my outer layer, I have the silk, white small herringbone coutil, and a slightly smaller piece of iron-on fusible, Bondaweb in this case. I also cut out a separate piece of herringbone coutil for the lining pieces. Back at the iron again, I laid out my silk, wrong side up, and pressed on the fusible. I peeled off the backing paper. Then I fused it to the coutil, starting in the middle and working my way out. At this point, my fabric was prepped. I cut out all my pieces and then pressed the back pieces in half. Then it was time to assemble. I started with the herringbone coutil lining pieces. I stitched the seams with a 10mm seam allowance, 1.5mm stitch length. I opened it up, then top stitched the seam so it was sitting towards the back. When sewing the outer pieces, which have the silk, I used clips instead of pins to keep my silk as intact as possible. I also top stitched these seams, this time so the seam sits towards the front. That way together, the layers will sit as flat as possible. After joining the front and the side pieces, I then also sewed on the back panels. I trimmed down one layer of the seam allowances and then laid up the two pieces ready to sew together. This process was the same as the other seams. I sewed the lining pieces to the main body of the cincher and then top stitched and trimmed the seams. There we have our big loop of fabric ready to sit together into a cincher. And we can see what will become the outside and inside of the cincher. Next it was time for boning channels. I lined up each seam and clipped the cincher along the top and bottom edges so it was sitting smoothly. I stitched in the ditch along each seam to join the inside to the outside. Then I stitched down the very centre front. I stitched 9mm to either side of that to create two boning channels, and also created boning channels either side of the seams. So at this stage, there were double bone channels at each of the seams as well as the centre front. After giving it a good press, I stitched on the back bone channels in my normal way. Then I added one more bone channel to the middle of the back panel. I used pins to measure out where the bone channels should go on the side panels and kept the pins to the side of the foot as I stitched. I used a ruler to be able to create parallel lines to create the bone channels. and after this was repeated sufficiently, all the bone channels were sewn. Then it was time to bone and bind the cincher. I cut 2 long bias strips of the silk, stitch on the bottom bias binding, first of all using a couple of clips to get it started, and then just laying it on as I went. I laid it over my ham and pressed it open. I folded it under and pinned it in place, but note the pins were not going all the way through. I then stitched in the ditch to secure the binding. Time for the bones. I used flat steel for the bones either side of the grommets and synthetic whalebone for the rest. In they go. Then I applied the top bias binding in the same way as I'd attached the bottom, stitching it on, manoeuvring it when need be because of all the bones, pressing it open, folding it around, pinning it, stitching in the ditch, and then the binding was on. The final structural component was adding in the grommets. I measured out where I wanted my grommets to be, marking them on the back. I wanted them 2 centimeters apart and in the center point of the channel. I then used the prim pliers with the cutting dies in to punch my holes. I laid out my grommets, making sure I had enough fronts and backs. I inserted the grommets, and then the grommets were done. I decorated the cincher by sticking on crystal rhinestones in 2 different sizes. I started with the large rhinestones and then added the smaller ones in between, aiming for a roughly symmetrical application, at which point the cincher was all sparkly. To add in the ribbon lacing, I pinned the cincher around my ironing board, then ran the ribbon through the grommets as required. And with that, the cincher was complete. So there we are. I'm very happy with how the cincher came out. I now have another article in my costume inventory, able to be mixed and matched with all sorts of things. I found the pattern adjustments interesting, of how things do sit differently on the body when different pieces of fabric are either there or not there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll join me again next time. And in the meantime, why don't you look at some of the other CosTube Symposium videos? Thanks again. Goodbye.